Why do we use cover crops? See that big old dust cloud behind us? You see the tractor fenders? That's topsoil. Blowing around. Might not look like much, but it's something. When we're planting green in our fields, there's very little dust on the tractor and planter, and there's very little dust blowing behind us. Because we're holding the ground with the cover crop, living roots that are holding the ground, and then we plant through it. Replanting this whole field. It was planted 3 weeks ago, and the slugs had a heyday in it. Got some cooler, wet weather after it was planted, and didn't help. If we'd have had 70, 80 degrees warmer weather with no rain, they'd have probably been fine. In this situation, which is no-till, going into corn stalks. But like I said in a previous video, we just got a hold of these fields within the last month. Closed around April 15th or 20th, I forget. And it was in corn before with no cover crop doing anything in the wintertime. So those were the cards we were dealt. Working with what we got. But this go around looks like weather's nice and warm now, and we should be alright this time. But with all that, you know, when we're planting in cover crop, there's a lot of green material for them slugs to eat. Not saying that we don't have slugs in our fields, but there's a lot for them to eat with a cover crop in it. And they're less likely to go after our corn and beans when they're sprouting and coming up through the ground, because they have all that other stuff to eat on. And since we've been planting green, we have yet to have to replant a field. So we'll see what the future holds. Maybe we will have to replant a field, I don't know, but so far we haven't had to. There's a couple beans out here, but I'm just gonna go ahead and redo the whole field while we're at it. Farm over there I think they tilled that back in the fall, and it's been sitting idle till now. They still haven't planted anything in it. As far as I know, I think that's some big company that owns it, and they plant green beans and sweet corn. See, they put a pivot up back there. They got to run a line along that field, down there and across the road to get the water. Which our field over here has water points along this driveway that goes on back if we were to ever want to irrigate it, which we probably will in the future. Figure something out. But like I say, look at that hilly ground over there. No cover crop. There's some green stuff coming up. I don't know what it is. Some sort of, I don't know, weeds and grass. But I don't know why you till a field in the fall and then just let it sit all winter. Unless you just want to see your topsoil float on down the stream and to the river. I don't know. I think a big company would know that. Maybe they don't. Once the beans are harvested this fall, there'll be cover crop put back into it. We might do wheat for cash crop. We'll see. So that will be the cover crop through the winter, the wheat. An old barn that needs torn down. We'll take that out. Take the trees out too and plant that. You can kind of see the rows now. In spots, it's better than others, but just go ahead and replant the whole field. Somebody over there spreading litter on that field over there. Interested to see what they do over there. There was some barley and some sort of cover crop mix that they baled up and took off a couple weeks ago on that field, and then I think they have both them fields. Be interesting to see what they do with it. It's June 3rd and they still haven't planted anything that I know of, so I guess sweet corn and green beans don't need to be planted so early. I don't know. We'll see what they do throughout the growing season. But that's why we plant cover crops, to hold the ground and to keep living roots in our ground year round. And if we can get cattle to them, we graze them. It's a lot of feed that it can produce. And we'll be experimenting with vetch next year, see how much nitrogen we can fix for our corn. And try some other cover crop mixes probably in the future. dust. It's conventional farming for you. No cover crops. And if there was a tillage tool out here, it'd really be conventional farming. Topsoil would be blowing all over the place. And this is exactly why we don't farm like this. It'll be the last time this field will not have a cover crop in it. Can't even see the red. It looks brown now. Got it. 7-8 acres left back here. Then we'll be done with the replant. I think all the other fields look good. The beans and corn that were planted green. But just for proof, we planted this field and then a field back home. The field back home had a cover crop in it on the same day. So they were planted the same day, the same population, got the same weather afterwards. And the field back home that was planted green into a cover crop looks a lot better than these fields down here. And that field back home will not need to be replanted. So, plus that field back home that we planted beans in was grazed as well. So we put down some cow manure on it as well. But yeah, same situation pretty much. Planted the same day, but that field had a cover crop, this field didn't. And we're having to replant this field. Now it could have had something to do with maybe there was more slugs out in this field than the other field, I don't know. But it's just funny, you know, the same day, same everything, except that field had a cover crop and it looks fine. So that's why we use cover crops. Yeah, it costs a little money for the seed and to plant it, but it's well worth it. Road cleaners are running, swiping the corn stalks out of the way, making for a nice seed bed. Stupid PTO. Whenever you hop off the seat, likes to make a ruckus. Makes for a nice seed bed out there from road cleaners. Got some nice views up on this hill too. It sits higher than that other field down by the river. Well, we're gonna finish this field up, head back home. Probably check a cattle group this evening. Moved a couple this morning. And hope these beans come up out of the ground. They should be fine. As hot as it is now. Get some rain and have a nice crop for this year, for this fall. Well, we're gonna keep on rolling.